Tonight's tournament game is sponsored by the Ohio High School Athletics Association. Your attendance is support the student athletes and coaches.
Good evening and welcome to the Hive here in Kirtland on the campus of Kirtland High School. We are getting set for a sectional semifinal matchup in boys basketball between the Kirtland Hornets and the Berkshire Badgers. Thanks so much for tuning in here to CVC TV. I'm Logan Petoskey alongside a special guest and my broadcast partner. It's my older brother Luke Petoskey. And Luke, this is a rubber match between two foes in the CVC Valley. One team has taken one matchup apiece this season, so this is for all the marbles with playoff implications as well.
Yeah, Logan, thanks for tagging along with me on the broadcast. And yeah, like you said, this is a rubber match, but not just any rubber match. It's not very often that so early in the playoffs you have two teams, not just in the same conference, but in the same division, and two rivals, long-standing rivals for a number of years in the CVC Valley, face off against one another. So we're definitely in for a treat. Like you said, this is a rubber match. Kirtland won the first matchup earlier in the year in late January, but then Berkshire comes to Kirtland just 2.5 weeks later and steals a win. So this is to settle the tiebreaker.
We'll have to see if they are able. Kirtland on the season, total of 12-10 in terms of their 22 games. And Berkshire 9-13 in their 22 games. We have our public address announcer giving us starting lineups, so we'll give them to you as well. Starting for Berkshire, they're going with number 2, Joey Checkeye, the senior guard. Number 5, junior guard Jack Hastings. Sophomore forward, number 10, Gavin Hipp. Senior forward, number 22, Apollo Persick. And junior guard, number 24, Mason Mendelera. And for the Kirtland Hornets, going with forward, junior number 0, Gino Blasini. Senior forward, number 1, Noah Need. Senior guard number 2, Owen Mueller. Sophomore guard number 11, Vince Carrero. And junior forward number 22, Will Sale. Luke, you got a chance to catch up with both head coaches, Sean McGregor of Kirtland and Joe Montanaro for Berkshire. What did they have to say as the key to the game for each side?
Yeah, I spoke to Coach McGregor first. Coach McGregor's in his 5th year here at Kirtland with an overall record of 64-45, and he basically laid it out simple for me. Kirtland's just got to play their game at their pace and play solid defense. He said that's been the secret to their success to winning 12 games this season. And for Coach Montanaro of Berkshire, I learned that he was a coach at Eastlake North for 9 seasons. Did not know that coming into tonight's game, but he basically said to me that their key is to just shoot the ball well. It seems that when they shoot the ball well and they score more points, they tend to fare better, and they've had a handful of losses this year where it's been by 1 or 2 points, so it's just that one shot that they really need. So for Berkshire, you're going to look for them to want to shoot the ball really well, and for Kirtland, you're going to look for them to want to play solid defense.
So we'll have to see how this one ultimately pans out. Like you said, Luke, the Hornets winning the first matchup between these two teams back on January 24th, 45-39 at Berkshire. The road team has had the advantage in the two matchups this season because here in Kirtland, back on February the 11th, a short time ago, it was Berkshire taking it home 46-42. So if the trend goes that way, it would be the Badgers winning, but this is a brand new slate. You're in the postseason, so all the past does not matter.
Absolutely, and yeah, like you said, postseason, anything can happen. We were actually both, not high school related, we were both at some OAC Division III basketball last night. Saw Marietta come back from 16 down to beat John Carroll. And regardless of the level, in the postseason, you never know what can happen. So really, in a game like this where it's win or go home and your season's over, we're sure for some exciting action.
And for the Badgers, they will have Hastings at center court for the tip. The Hornets have Gino Blasini. Just about to get set here. Fairly packed house here at the Hive in Kirtland. Tips away, Hornets win it. It goes to Vince Carrero, and we are underway. Logan Petoskey, Luke Petoskey here on CVC TV. Owen Mueller looks to orchestrate the offense. Now here's Vince Carrero, first team All-CVC this season. Another first team All-Conference guard, Owen Mueller had it. Now Blasini inside, takes a lot of contact. And he'll head to the line for 2 after a foul.
A good job there by the Hornet offense, kind of working their system and then finding Sale in the post. Sometimes that's what you got to do, is find the guy in the post to create action, make the defense move, and Sale found Blasini, who's at the line for 2.
Blasini named second team all CVC this season, misses his first. And that's quite the accolade itself on the basketball court, but he is one heck of a football player for the Kirtland Hornets, who have a real dynasty going in Northeast Ohio.
You can really say that about a lot of players on the Hornets over the years.
So Blasini splits the pair, and a full court press from Kirtland on the way. As now Jack Hastings look to get things going. Now here's Joey Checkeye, the senior, with Will Sale step for step with him. And a kick out left point. Driving inside, tough layup, banked on in by the junior Mason Mendelera, and Berkshire now leads 2-1.
Mendelera is Berkshire's leading scorer, and that just shows if you get him going early, he can put up some shots.
Looking like a 3-2 zone for the time being for Berkshire. Hornets look to navigate that. Here's Carrero. Out on the outside, Need. Back to Carrero with a double. Mueller tries to get some space. No look pass. Sale to Need for 3, and that's good.
What a play there, and sometimes it's more important to make sure you hit that shot when you have such a good pass. A great shot there by Need in the corner.
That's Kirtland's first field goal. Hornets leading 4-2. As we're just over a minute in, that pass goes out of bounds, and it will be now the Hornets' ball. Carrero just across half court. Takes his time. No shot clock in high school, so definitely can. Need takes a whole bunch of contact on the interior and draws a foul.
It's going to be interesting. Berkshire starting out with a 3-2 zone look. I'm interested to see if they change their defensive philosophy, maybe switch to a 2-3 or a 1-3-1 to kind of make the Hornets change their offensive scheme.
Will Sale gets the inbound. Works its way to Carrero. Back to Mueller. Fires Blasini. Need. Another corner 3. Can't get that one to fall. Offensive rebound for a moment to Blasini. We might have a jump ball on our hands. And that's ultimately the ruling. Apollo Persick was on the floor for Berkshire, and the arrow favors the Badgers. So now a full court press here for the Hornets again. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing that all game, Luke.
Absolutely, with their conditioning, they're fully capable of being able to press all game long.
Checkeye into the forecourt. Looks for an open teammate. Will Sale matched up with him tightly. Works its way to Hastings. Pull up Jay. Too strong and hauled in by Carrero, who moves it with pace. Blasini. Look for Need in the corner, but that got stolen away. The Badgers now look to answer back. It was Cameron Beam who had that steal. Now on the baseline, Checkeye floater, no good. Offensive rebound and put up and in by Persick. We're tied at 4.
Persick in the right spot at the right time, able to get the easy putback to tie this one back up.
Tied at 4, 5.5 left in this first. Euro step bounce pass to Blasini. Mueller fakes, attacks, lofts it to Carrero. This zone now almost morphing into a 2-3 zone here for the Badgers. Inside Sale, he's one up short. Hastings almost had it, but Blasini cleans it up and lays it in.
Blasini, Kirtland's leading rebounder. He's been around the ball every time down there in the key, and he gets 2 more.
8 rebounds per game this season for the junior forward. Checkeye kicks it to Beam. Pass inside, Hastings didn't see it, but it still stays with the Badgers. He now has it. Beam with Mueller defending. Hastings, watched by Blasini, looks to spin inside, in the corner, triple, that's good. Nice shot from the sophomore Gavin Hipp. Badgers lead 7-6.
Hipp able to convert when Carrero went to help, able to knock down the open 3.
So 1-3 for each side so far tonight. And Blasini's pass tipped into the backcourt. And Coach McGregor even telling his team that was tipped, don't touch it. And it will be Kirtland ball as a pair of subs check in for the Hornets. Number 25, Jack Green, and number 3, Nick Barisik. Nearing 4 minutes to go in this opening quarter. This OHSCA sectional semi. Berkshire leading 7-6. Fading jumper. Nearly goes in for Carrero. Jack Green with the ferocious rebound. He keeps the possession alive. Not for long, though. A jumping steal from Hip. And he's got the fast break. Tough floater. Almost falls. Rebounded inside by Hastings. Dips, fades. Can't lay it in, though. Another offensive rebound. Beam had it. And it got stripped away from Apollo Persick, but it will stay with Berkshire. What a sequence of events there.
I'll tell you what, we're looking firsthand at some rivalry basketball. A lot of loose balls already, people fighting for it. This is what the playoffs are all about.
Hastings will trigger. Nice bounce pass, wide open. Checkeye misses the layup. Put back no good from Persick. Back to Checkeye. Badgers really looking to get something to fall in this possession. They've had endless chances here. Again, Checkeye. Jabs and drives. Hop steps, tried the no-look bounce pass. And a jump ball. And the arrow will favor the Hornets.
Give the Hornets credit there. Berkshire had a lot of chances to convert. Ultimately did not drop, but they stayed true to their defense and forced the jump ball to take over possession. Sometimes that's what it takes in the postseason.
7-6 Berkshire. Hornets haven't scored for what seems a little while. That pass telegraphed by Hastings. One-on-one, takes a contact and finishes. Nice move from the junior guard. Quite a season he's had, averaging over 12 points and 6 rebounds per game. Bobby Whitaker in for Kirtland for his first time. Across the court, Carrero, who is fouled on the floor.
No shot there for Carrero, but a good take by him. One of the early takeaways I have so far is, yes, Berkshire is playing the zone defense, which when you're on offense, you can kind of get complacent with your passes. We've seen a couple of those lob passes go right into Berkshire's hands for some easy, fast breaks.
Carrero faked a three right off the inbound. His pull-up jumper misses, and a fast break rebound on the move by Persick. Found Checkeye, who took one step too many, and a travel's called. So the Hornets will be back in business, down by 3, under 3 minutes to play in this first quarter. And a special thanks goes out to C&J Provider Services and Menor for their support of the Kirtland Hornets and high school sports in the area. Thank you, C&J Provider Services, for your support of tonight's broadcast. We're here on CVC TV as Green has it on the baseline. And a travel's called on him, so one travel on the Badgers, in the blink of an eye, a travel on the Hornets.
Tell you what, Berkshire playing some very aggressive defense, and it is definitely paying off, finding the Hornets struggling with a little bit of the turnover bug and some traveling.
And that press still stays. Alfieri sticking with Hastings in the backcourt. Bit of a screen from Checkeye, who drives, kicks, hip for three. That's off the mark, and Jack Greenhall's on the rebound. Mueller fires a pass to Alfieri. Zone still alive and well from the Berkshire defense. Mueller to Alfieri, catch and shoot triple. Way too strong. Whitaker almost had the rebound. It got tipped for a moment by Barisik, and they will say last off of him and Berkshire ball, but that looked awfully close.
It was awfully close. In fact, so close that two of the refs asked each other for help, and they were both asking each other for help. Ultimately, Berkshire gets the benefit of the doubt.
They're going to look to cash in on it. Alfieri takes a tumble on the near side. He's right back up and moving. Hip. It's another triple. That's good. Gavin Hip, his second triple of the game, makes it 12-6 Berkshire. Under 2 to play in the first. And that pass on the inbound nearly stolen by Joey Checkeye, but he'll be called for a foul.
As we kind of hinted at early in the game, Kirtland wanted to play at their pace, but struggling with some turnovers, and Berkshire wanted to be able to hit some shots, and sure enough, they are hitting their shots early and often.
The junior guard, number 5, Aaron Fortuna, in for his first time tonight for Kirtland. The junior, also a member of the Hornets football team. But Kirtland looking for some points that they haven't had in quite some time. Owen Mueller, catch and shoot three. That's short. Rebounded by Persick. Badgers lead by 6. Look to add some more. Cameron Beam the drive. Persick baseline. Fadeaway Jay Hastings through a tough contest. Swishes it, and Berkshire by 8.
Berkshire on a 10-0 run right now, firing on all cylinders in the start of this one.
Green elbow jumper on the move. That's good, and Kirtland needed that one to stop the bleeding. And that inbound pass went to nobody, right out of bounds, and it will stick with Kirtland just like that.
Interesting to see some of the inbounding miscues. A couple possessions ago, Kirtland didn't have anybody back to pick up the inbound pass, and sure enough, another inbound miscue.
And a shot from deep missed from Mueller. And Hastings quickly moving. Kicks to Beam. Driving baseline, Checkeye. Looks for Persick, but that one is punched out of bounds. And we'll stay with Berkshire. Hey, baseball and softball coaches, looking for an affordable indoor training facility? Check out Lake County's newest training spot, The Hub. Conveniently located in Willoughby, The Hub has everything you need to take your game to the next level. Fully equipped cages, pitching mounds, and a hit tracks machine will help you meet your full potential. Contact The Hub at 440-533-1848 or visit the website at www.thehubsportsandfitness.com. On Google, just search for The Hub Willoughby. As a Hornet turnover there gives it back to Berkshire.
Yeah, had Jack Green miss a shot there and Gino Blasini get called for the loose ball foul. Berkshire taking over possession.
Couple of subs for the Badgers. Checkeye gets it on the near side. Looked for Persick on the far side and almost got away. But Checkeye has it back. 12 on the clock. And this will look to be the final shot of the quarter. Now with it, Mendelera. 4 on the clock. Corner jumper near the buzzer, way short. Rebounded. And no chance for a final shot for Kirtland. And just like that, 14-8 through 1 quarter of play. Kirtland trailing Berkshire through the first 8 minutes of this sectional semifinal. And just a reminder for tonight's broadcast that the presenting sponsor of CVC TV is the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. Doctors Keith Schneider, Don Lewis, Jill Weber, and Jacqueline Tomzik. Their specialties include dental surgery and implants, corrective jaw and facial surgery, and trauma reconstruction. For all of your oral surgery needs, visit the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery on their website at www.ohsurgery.com. Thank you for your support of the Chagrin Valley Conference and CVC TV. So, Luke, we had Kirtland up 6-4 on Berkshire, but a 10-0 run propelled the Badgers to an 8-point lead. Kirtland able to make a jumper near the end of the quarter to make it a 6-point game.
Yeah, and just like I said, going back to those keys to the game, Berkshire wanted to be able to shoot the basketball well. Coach Mendelera told me before the game that they've had a bunch of games this year where it's been within the 40-point range, and some of the coaches have even said to him, first 1 to 40 wins, and if that's the case, Berkshire is off and running.
And you could say that again, Luke, because the most anyone has scored in the series this season, the 2 games, is 46. Berkshire scored that on February 11th to beat these same Hornets in this same gymnasium, 46-42. Badgers back on offense. Rossini with Hastings. Checkeye finds a cutting Hap. Hip, I beg your pardon. Corner 3 off the mark, and a putback layup is no good, but a foul called inside. Nice effort from Gavin Hip to get some space and go to the line for 2.
I'm giving the Badgers a lot of credit tonight. They're doing their job on the boards, especially offensively. It seems like every time the ball has bounced off the rim, they've had at least one person there at least having a fighting chance at the ball.
Hip makes his first, just over 55% at the line this season. Made a couple of 3-pointers in the first quarter. He swishes the second. Berkshire back up by 8. Vince Carrero back in for Kirtland. First team All-OAC guard, leading the team with nearly 10 points per game this season. He has it back. This zone really keeping Kirtland guessing in this one so far. Overhead pass to Carrero. Will Sale had it tipped away, and it's kicked out of bounds by Mendolera, so it will stay with the Hornets.
Yeah, the Badgers playing very disciplined defense, good backside rotation, not really letting anybody patrol the middle there for the Hornets.
See what they look to do on the inbound. Noah Need with it. He had a three-pointer to give Kirtland their first field goal of the night. It was in that right corner. Mueller looks for Blasini, tipped out of bounds by Hastings. Nothing coming easy for the Hornet offense.
Absolutely not, and it's kind of like having that thinking in your head that you know where the pass is going to be before they know where the ball is going.
Carrero kicks to Blasini. Back to Mueller. Carrero, spot up three. Banks it on in. Vince Carrero from downtown. And the Hornets trail by 5. 16-11 our score, nearly 90 seconds into this second quarter. Will Sale stripped it away from Mendolera, but it goes out of bounds.
Going back to that last possession, Carrero with a big three for the Hornets to trim it to within 5. He comes into today with 14 threes made on the season, make that number 15.
Mendolera, the junior across midcourt. Quite the season he's had, nearly 10 points per game and 4 rebounds as well. Now Joey Chekai, bit of a hesitation there. Back to Hastings. Hastings has been busy tonight for the Badgers. Gavin Hipp looks for a screen, uses it from Persick. Badgers not afraid to take their time. Chekai, Need with him all the way. Backing down, hop step, tough layup, way too strong, and a jumping rebound by Owen Mueller, who's quickly fouled.
Some good closeout defense by Need from Kirtland, making that layup not an easy one for the Badgers.
Now here's Carrero. Made a triple a short time ago for the Hornets. Mueller back to Carrero, the sophomore. Now the senior Mueller. Works its way to Carrero. Hornets feeling it out a bit on this possession. Lobs it for Blasini. Blasini promptly doubled. Someone's got to be open. Need wanted a three. Now Carrero. Berkshire, this help defense has paid dividends and does it really right there. Hastings with a moving steal. Mendolera through contact lays and scores. Berkshire wanted a foul, but they'll gladly take the 2.
Absolutely. Anytime you can get a fast break layup, you will take that.
3 minutes into the second quarter, 18-11, Badgers by 7. Will Sale's bounce pass immediately stolen by Mendolera. Jack Hastings to the rim, kicked out to Hipp. Mendolera 3, off the mark, tipped and rebounded by Sale. Had a full head of steam for a short time being. Mueller head fake. He gets it back. Carrero made a 3 from the right wing earlier, but instead he'll step inside. Skip past Mueller 3. Short offensive rebound, Blasini, but it's knocked away and stolen by Apollo Persick. Again, Badger faithful wanted a foul, but they at least get the ball. The junior Mendolera floater nearly banked it in off a foul. And Mason Mendolera will go to the line for a pair.
Yeah, one of the things I'm noticing, just the theme throughout the first, through the first quarter and almost halfway through the second quarter, the loose ball battle is heavily in the favor of the Badgers. It seems like any rebound, they're making it difficult for the Hornets to get those extra possessions, and then when the Badgers get the ball, it seems like they're able to get those extra possessions and get those shots that Coach Mendolera was talking about to me prior to the game.
Jack Green, Nick Barisic back in for Kirtland. Cameron Beam checking back in for Berkshire. Both free throws good from Mendolera. It's 20-11. Berkshire with a strong lead nearly halfway through this second quarter. Mueller Nowhere to go. Looks for Carrero, and that's way too strong. And it will go the way of the Badgers. And now for the Hornets. Jake Laverty will check in for his first time this evening. Was the starting quarterback for Kirtland's Division VI state runner-up football team this season as a true freshman.
Just impressive to be able to do that as a true freshman.
He nearly strips it away from Mendelera, but it gets to Checkeye. Look for someone on the left wing. Hastings tried to save it, but unable. And Kirtland forces a turnover.
Seen some passes kind of go awry for both sides, and especially for Kirtland, that Berkshire zone defense is very tough to penetrate for the time being.
It's a Berkshire defense that's allowed 48 points per game this season. Gino Blasini keeps it alive, puts it up, puts it in, and a foul, and a chance for a three-point play for the junior forward.
A great play there, being able to stick with the loose ball and draw the contact. Now he has a chance for the three-point play.
Averaging 7.5 points a game this season. And we have a timeout on the floor, a full timeout called by head coach Joe Montanaro of Berkshire. 20-13, Kirtland trailing the Badgers in this sectional semifinal in boys basketball. While we have this timeout, Big Leaf Basketball has served elementary basketball across Northeast Ohio and beyond since 2016 with an emphasis on community and sportsmanship. This past winter, Big Leaf provided a platform of leagues and tournaments to nearly 300 teams across Ohio from almost 70 different school districts spanning 12 counties, including several from the Chagrin Valley Conference. Big Leaf Basketball partners with area schools and provides fundraising outlets for their sports programs. Big Leaf takes pride in assessing each team's talent level and placing them accordingly to comfortably compete and grow as players and as a program. BL is partnered with the National Basketball Academy. Download the Big Leaf Basketball app today. So Gino Blasini is looking to complete a three-point play. Made a strong layup after getting bumped in the air. And Kirtland just looking for, I think, that two-possession swing, because it seems like every time they get a basket, the Badgers are quick to answer in the snap of a finger.
Absolutely, and that's exactly the kind of character and thing you need in the postseason.
That free throw's good from Blasini. His Hornets trail 20-14. Nearly 3.5 to go in the first half. Checkeye finds Beam. Slows it down. Bounces to Hastings. Hip fakes. Dishes to Mendelera. Looks for somewhere to go. Gives it back to Hastings. Kirtland really looking for a stop. It doesn't seem like they've had one that would lead to points in a while. Pick and roll game. Hastings. Floater just misses. Offensive rebound. Beam. Nearly traveled, but pass is stolen. So Kirtland will take it. A lot of the Hornet faithful had their arms up looking for that call. But the Hornets get it on offense. Laverty works its way. Blasini not afraid to shoot the three. That's just short. And rebounded by Gavin Hipp. Blasini this season has made just 6 3-pointers, but he wasn't afraid to attempt that one. Now jabbing and driving is Joey Checkeye. Had some open space for the time being. Hipp, left wing three. Off the mark. And it's hauled in by Barisic. Floating jumper missed Carrero. Offensive rebound, no good on the layup from Blasini, but Hastings bats it out of bounds, and it will stick with Kirtland.
Like I said, it seems like every rebound, either the Badgers have 4 bodies around and they're able to either get the rebound or make it tough to get the offensive rebound, or on the other side, they're surrounded by Hornets, but they have great positioning and they're able to fight through the swarm, if you will.
Off the inbound, Barisic three, too strong. Carrero keeps the possession going. Not afraid to go through contact. Back to Barisic. Strong on the baseline. His pass stolen cross court by Hastings. Danny Alfieri back in for Kirtland. Nearly tripped there, but he stays on his feet. I think Berkshire thought he had an ankle breaker. Might have got his feet twisted up a bit. Here's Hipp. Hastings trying to use a hip screen, and he'll get called for an offensive foul.
It's often one of those bang-bang plays in basketball refs really look for that at least 1 foot be planted, if not 2. 2 is preferred, but didn't really look like any feet were planted there, and that's why they called the moving screen.
Under 2 to play in this first half, 20-14. Berkshire leading Kirtland in this sectional semifinal in the OHSAA. Barisic tipped away, stolen on the move. Checkout, lays it up and puts it in. Some of the easiest 2 points of the night from either side. Barisic back to Carrero, has space, hoists a 3, and can't put it in. Rolled on the top of the backboard. That's usually called out of bounds. A little bit late there, but Berkshire gets the call they were looking for.
Well, you know, we haven't seen a shot like that all night, and you don't get the same referees every game, so probably just took them a second to realize that hit off the structure, so it is out of bounds.
And from what I remember, I think a couple of years ago, both the hoops here at Kirtland had wire on the top, so you could easily tell out of bounds, but they either cut it off or just restructured a bit. So ball went up the floor, and a foul called on the Badgers as the Hornets try to get the steal. And the 1-and-1 here for the Hornets. Danny Alfieri at the line. I know it's getting very repetitive, Luke, but another member of the Kirtland football team. Can't put it in, nearly got his own rebound. It's Will Sale who gets it. Finds Carrero for 3, and Vince Carrero buries it. Hornets down by 5. Will Sale nearly gets the steal, but it will stick with the Badgers.
Both of Carrero's points tonight, or both of Carrero's makes tonight, have been 3s, and they've been big 3s. Both times they were down 8, and he trims it to within 5, keeping the Hornets out of that double-digit deficit.
The sophomore Gavin Hip checks out. Junior Mason Mendelera back in for Berkshire. Badgers lead 22-17, nearly 60 seconds to play in this opening half. And a lot of pressure in the backcourt, which will force Coach Montanaro of Berkshire to call a 30-second timeout. His team leading 22-17. And while we had this timeout, introducing The Hub, the ultimate indoor baseball softball facility in Willoughby where the game never stops. Come rain or shine, our state-of-the-art facility is the perfect place for baseball or softball enthusiasts of all ages and skill levels to hone their skills and enjoy the game they love. With fully equipped batting cages and pitching mounds, you'll have everything you need to practice and perfect your technique. Take your training to the next level with our Hit Tracks machine. Maximize exit velo and optimize launch angles by capturing real-time metrics and observing results immediately after impact. Our climate-controlled environment ensures a comfortable and safe experience for everyone. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a complete beginner, the Hub has what you need to reach your full potential. So what are you waiting for? Get your team together and experience the thrill of baseball all year round. Book your spot today. Contact the Hub at 440-533-1848 or visit the website at www.thehubsportsandfitness.com. On Google, just search for the Hub Willoughby. That layup on the move missed by Bean. Laverty, pull-up 3, way short. Tipped, and Beam couldn't get a grip, or rather Persick seemed to not get a grip on the rebound, but it's last off of Kirtland.
Just based on my point of view, I would have called that the other way, and that's really the only one that I've disagreed with all night.
45 seconds left in this first half. Berkshire looking to extend their 5-point lead before halftime. Promptly double-teamed was Hastings. Corner 3, Beam, way too strong. Diving on the floor for the rebound. Nice effort from Alfieri to get it. Under 30 to go in the half. And a foul called on the Badgers, which might not be the worst idea because it's still the 1-and-1. Kirtland could have had a final shot opportunity.
Yeah, it kind of depends on what point of view you want to look at it. On one hand, you might get the last offensive possession of the quarter. On the other hand, you're kind of slowing the Kirtland offense down, and the free throw shooting hasn't been the greatest tonight, so you could get a quick rebound here.
Gino Blasini, 6'2 junior, and he makes it. So he will get the second end of a 1-and-1, which would make this a one-score game, which Berkshire at the end of the first quarter had pretty much all the momentum, but Kirtland starting to gain some steam. Blasini hits both. Hornets trail by 3. Mendolera trapped in the corner. Finds Hip. 20 on the clock. And Mendolera is stopping his tracks. Berkshire looking for the final shot of the first half. And Hastings called for an offensive foul, an illegal screen. And Berkshire fans left and right are up in arms.
That's the second instance where Berkshire's been cost themselves a possession with an illegal screen, and now the Hornets have a chance here to either push this within one or tie this up going into halftime.
Under 10 left in this first half. Carrero can potentially tie the game at halftime. Crosses, attacks the lane. Mueller catches shoot at the horn, that got blocked. And Berkshire ends the first half on top by a score of 22-19, and they're looking for a sectional semifinal win in hostile territory.
Yeah, so far I think it's going their way, and we're kind of on pace. If you want to do the math, multiply these scores by 2, it would be roughly 44-38. So we're on pace to potentially have another winner scoring points in the 40s tonight.
And if you think that score is similar, January 24th at Berkshire, Kirtland won 45-39.
Wow.
You talk about the correlation, lots and lots of similarities in these first 3 games between Kirtland and Berkshire. And while we are at halftime here, we have a member of the News Herald joining us. We have sports reporter Ben Hersick joining us here up top for our broadcast setup here at Kirtland. He's here tonight covering the action between the Badgers and the Hornets. Ben, how's everything going tonight?
It's going pretty good so far. Just a fun little defensive battle we got going on a little bit here. A lot of turnovers on both sides, I would say.
And that really seems to have been the case. I mean, looking at both of these sides, not allowing any more than, or rather not allowing any more than 57 points in a game. I'll kind of just take a look at both sides just individually. I'll start with Berkshire because they had that 10-0 run in the first quarter, really got out to a hot start. What did you see from them that they should perhaps continue to do heading into the second half?
What it felt like more than anything, it was really them handling the full court that Kirtland was throwing at them. They were taking their time getting the ball up. You saw a little bit towards the end of that second quarter, Berkshire was rushing through a lot of stuff, trying to figure things out, and they were going a lot faster than they wanted to. Berkshire likes to keep that pace slow, and that's what really helped them. They were able to create turnovers and get some break points, but when they were able to just sit and look at the offense and survey everything, that's when they're the best.
And looking at the Berkshire defense as well, when Kirtland had it in the forecourt, they really stuck to that zone, and I don't know if it's what they were doing, but to my vantage point here, it seemed like they were kind of rotating between a 3-2 and a 2-3. Do you think they stick with that zone going in the second half?
I would think so. It worked really well early on. From my notes, Kirtland only had 1 3 in that first quarter. They had 2 in the second, but what they were doing really well was Owen Mueller's a really good shooter from outside. Nick Barisic's another good shooter. They had 0 points combined in the first half. Vince had a couple of nice threes, but that zone is really giving Kirtland some problems getting the ball inside. Unless they can get it on the baseline or short on the sideline, then they can get the ball in quickly.
And like you were saying, Barisic and Mueller for Kirtland, it's not easy to hold those two scoreless. I mean, even at least one of them. Owen Mueller, first team All-CVC this season. Nick Barisic, honorable mention. So now we'll kind of switch things over to Kirtland. So they had a 6-4 lead pretty early on. It was kind of a back-and-forth type of game. But again, Berkshire had that 10-0 run. But Kirtland dug their way out of that hole in the latter stages of the second quarter. They made it a 3-point game at the half. What do you think perhaps made them kind of stall a little bit but then find their rhythm again?
It felt like they were just trying to feel everything out. This is both teams' first game of the postseason. They had the option to play a game before this, but they both chose buys into it. So they're coming off of about I believe at least 6-day rest. So they're just getting their wheels under them, going from a practice mentality into the game mentality, especially in the postseason where it's win or go home. They have to get that back under them. And you saw it when they went to that full court. And almost while they were going 3 guys up court, 2 guys deep, making sure they were trying to force short court turnovers to then get some quick possessions on the offensive side to lead to some quick points, which you saw a little bit here and there. And that's going to be more of it in the second half, I feel.
And you talk about the long time between games. For Kirtland, they haven't played since last Thursday before tonight. That was a 60-47 loss at Harvey. And then for Berkshire, they last played a week ago where they fell to Cardinal on the road, 48-35. And this series, it's been an interesting trend because the first 2 games, it's been the road team who's come out victorious if things go the way they have. in that sense, even with the halftime score, Berkshire would get the victory. What do you think perhaps is like a key to continue to do well in the second half and have that come true and get to the sectional final?
What it's going to be for Berkshire if they want to keep that trend going and make it a 2-1 season win over Kirtland, it would be getting back into that rhythm they had offensively, because it felt like I said, early in the full court, they were taking the time, getting the ball up court, using as many seconds as they needed to get the ball up. Now they're trying to rush things through. You've seen some errant passes, some deflections going Kirtland's way. It's just going to be a matter of if they can keep everything under them, because Berkshire's a young team. Granted, so is Kirtland overall, but Berkshire's not been in this situation in a long time. They've had an up-and-down season. This is their biggest game of the year, and they know they can't push that pressure, push that pace too much, because if they do, they're going to keep making these little simple mistakes, and that's going to lead to Kirtland coming back and getting the win.
And I know you're mentioning you haven't had this like kind of postseason situation in a while. Just myself, I'm currently a senior at John Carroll, so I know our men's basketball head coach Pete Moran knows a thing or two about Berkshire basketball. Was a CVC Coach of the Year at least once during his time. So Berkshire looking to get a playoff victory here tonight. And meanwhile, let's just switch it back over to Kirtland now. A key that you think you can emphasize, something that they did well that they're hoping to continue to do in the second half.
You started to see it a little bit towards the end of the second quarter. That was getting the ball inside and getting Gino Blasini going. That guy is a really strong inside board. He's one of those football players that plays basketball as well, but he's able to use that bigger body, because Berkshire's biggest guy is maybe half as wide as he is, because he's a big, bulky guy. Being able to get him inside and get the inside game going. Kirtland likes to work the outside, but you can see their strength really is when they can get it inside and get the offense running through Gino.
Yeah, and they certainly seem to be passing it around the three-point line a little bit, trying to work for a three, but then they would be not afraid to dump it into the high post. And a few offensive rebounds, Gino Blasini with at least a couple of those in the first half. And just looking into the future for both of these teams, because whoever wins this game would end up facing the winner of Warren Champion and Lake Catholic in the sectional final. Do you have anything that maybe people can get to know a bit about either of those two sides?
Champion, not as much. I know they didn't have the best regular season that they wanted. They still are going to be a solid postseason team. But Lake Catholic is a very scary team with a really good 1-2 punch in Aiden Fitzgerald and Peyton Boudreaux-Rini. Those two are really strong together. They work well off of each other. Plus, Lake Catholic has one thing that both these teams don't, and that's size. Lake Catholic has maybe 3 or 4 guys, 6'2" or taller. They have that size inside, and that's really been their help throughout the season, and especially getting those two guys that I mentioned inside and having them, because Aiden Fitzgerald, he started at Lake Catholic. He's a 4-year starter. He was a 3-point guy. Now, this past year and a half, he's really worked his inside game, and he's a very dangerous guy off the drive now.
And Aiden Fitzgerald, have to say, an athletic family. I have to bring back the John Carroll connection, because it's where I am, and I see it when I do. His oldest brother, Connor Fitzgerald, a star basketball player at John Carroll, and then his another older brother, the middle of the three, Sean Fitzgerald, I think playing wide receiver at John Carroll for the Blue Streaks. But Aiden Fitzgerald looks to be up next in terms of that collegiate or potentially collegiate athlete, and Fitzgerald's also Kirtland native, so I know for Kirtland that's a pretty close tie they have.
It's even more interesting too. You think about it, Lake Catholic and Kirtland are separated by maybe 3 miles. They would have to go an hour and a half each down to play a district semifinal against each other, when you could just meet somewhere in the middle and even just play on like the playground basketball court, and just get some referees out there, get some makeshift bleachers, and just have an old school elementary style basketball game.
Right, certainly can. Well, Ben, want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us, and best of luck with everything that you're doing going forward, and have a good time covering the rest of this one tonight.
Thank you guys very much for having me. Hopefully it stays like this all the postseason. I've had 2 close games so far. Hopefully this makes 3, and hopefully I can get at least 10 of them. Take that.
Well, I'll tell you what, close game, not sure if that'll make your job easier or harder, but I'm sure it has to make it more fun.
That's the best part about it. It makes it a lot more fun.
There you go. Absolutely. Ben Hersick, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. 22-19, Berkshire leading Kirtland through one half of play in this OHSA sectional semifinal. Boys basketball, Logan Petoskey alongside my brother Luke Petoskey. I want to thank once again Ben Hersick for joining us from the News Herald for our halftime interview. Luke, I'm going to ask you, what is your key for both sides? Just one quick key for Berkshire, one quick key for Kirtland.
Well, we talked to both coaches prior to the game, and Kirtland wanted to play at their pace, and Berkshire wanted to shoot the ball well. I would give the edge to Berkshire there. They shot the ball pretty well. If I'm the Badgers, I want to maintain my defensive principles. It can be easy to kind of get lax from one half to the next. So for the Badgers, I'd focus on defense, and for the Hornets, I would want to focus on off-ball movement, getting players open that don't have the ball.
Will Sale will have a baseline jumper to start things. That's just short. Offensive rebound to Noah Need. So Kirtland promptly keeps the possession alive. Berkshire sticking with that zone. Looking like a 3-2, morphing into a 2-3, and that pass is stolen by Gavin Hipp. Made a couple of three-pointers in the first half on offense for the Badgers. Here's Mason Mendelera. Now finds Persick. Hastings has it. Hipp wanted a three for the time being. Stopped at the foul line. And this pass for Hastings goes haywire, but Jack Hastings stays with it. Attacks the lane, scoops it up, almost puts it in. They'll have two free throws on the way.
A good job there by Hastings, being able to stick with it, save it from going out of bounds, and he gets rewarded with 2 shots at the line.
Hastings this season, just over 68% at the foul line, averaging over 12.6 rebounds and 2 assists per game as he knocks down the first. Certainly one of those main contributors for the Badgers this season. He'll make the second. Those are the first 2 points of the half. Berkshire leading Kirtland by 5. Winner of this one awaits 29th seeded Warren champion and number 3 seeded Lake Catholic, the winner of that one. In the sectional final, Sale to Blucini. Mueller fakes. Carrero really had space in the corner. Sale goes up and under and scores.
A good job there by Carrero to find Sale on the inside. If you're the Hornets, you've got to keep taking those chances.
On the near side, Cameron Beam lost it, stolen away by Sale, who takes some contact and misses. And Beam quickly with a rebound. The freshman getting ample playing time tonight in the playoffs. And that pass almost stolen in transition by Need. Great hustle effort, nearly went into the scorer's table.
Really seeing players and bodies hit the floor, and you're going to see a lot of that when you're not only facing a rival, but you're facing a rival in a rubber match in the postseason for a chance to advance to the district semifinal.
And stakes don't get much bigger. You have your CVC Valley rivalry, and then again, like you said, with playoff implications for the 3rd time this season. Mendelera fakes the triple. Pushed it inside, reverse no good. Berkshire wanted a foul there as Hastings faced about a triple team. Mueller on the move. Gets it back, shoots the triple, knocks it down. Nice shot from Owen Mueller. Kirtland ties it up to 24.
Logan, you and Ben touched on it. Mueller went the first half scoreless, and now he hits the game-tying triple. We'll see if he can carry that momentum further into the game.
And this press causing some trouble for Berkshire. That pass goes way out of bounds. The Hornets will get it back, and they look for their first lead in a while. 30-second timeout called by Berkshire. I mean, not that it wasn't a ball game, but it certainly is right now as we're deadlocked at 24.
You can really feel the tension turning up in this building, and it's kind of funny. It's Kirtland was having trouble with Berkshire's press and zone defense, and the last couple possessions, Berkshire kind of some costly turnovers, and Kirtland's been able to take advantage and tie this one up.
While we have this timeout, to inform you that the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery is this year's title sponsor for CVC TV. The practice diagnoses and treats facial pain and injuries and also offers a full range of dental implants and bone grafting procedures. Look no further than the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery for all of your oral surgery and cosmetic surgery needs. Please visit their website at www.ohsurgery.com. Back to the hardwood here. Kirtland looking for their first lead in quite some time. I certainly remember 6-4, and I think that was the last lead the Hornets had early in the first quarter. Noah Need hit a three in the opening period. Nice ball movement. Carrero for the lead. Off the top of the glass, that's out of bounds. And they'll go back to Berkshire. But Kirtland, their offense looks to be a little more in rhythm, finding some more open shot opportunities.
A little bit more, yeah, and I'm on defense as well. That full court press has been able to cause a few turnovers where they've been able to cash in on some buckets.
They nearly caused another one. Vince Carrero gets his hands on the senior Joey Checkeye. That's Kirtland's second foul of the half.
Oftentimes when refs are making that foul call, they're trying to look at how long that hand stays on the body. Usually if it's for more than a second, they're going to end up blowing that whistle.
Hastings finds Checkeye. Was quickly guarded by Mueller. Mueller with him all the way step for step. Almost took a forearm from Checkeye. Finds Mendelera. Spins around, looks for an open teammate. Nice hop step from Checkeye. Hastings on the move, almost lost it, but he'll shoot the jumper and score. Nice shot on the turnaround from the junior guard.
A great resilient effort there from Hastings. Got the ball knocked away, got it right back, and turned around for the jumper.
Noah Need look for an overhead pass. Back to the first team All-OAC guard, Carrero. Eventually to Will Sale. Need for the triple. No dice. Snatched down inside by Hastings. Navigates the full court trap. They're pressuring defense, moving layup way off the mark. No foul call. Carrero full head of steam on the fall. Almost banked it in, but he draws the foul and he'll have a chance to tie the game at the free throw line.
Very fast-paced action right there. Berkshire wanting the Hastings took it all the way, tried to draw the foul, and then Carrero turns around, does the same, and he gets the call, and he's at the line for 2 shots.
Carrero again averaging nearly 10 points. Also 3 rebounds and almost 3 assists per game as he misses his first free throw. A few subs on the floor. Nick Barisic, Jack Green back in for Kirtland. And Jack Green was injured for a little while, but he's now back into the fold, now more so off the bench. But this season in his action averaging over 6 points and 5 rebounds, along with a block per game. Tallest player for the Hornets at 6'6". There's Hastings. Barisic defends him. Jab and drive from hip. Mendelera orchestrates the offense. Looks for a screen for a moment. Dribble handoff hip. Pull up Jay. Through the contest, Randall's out. Offensive rebound, Persick almost had it, and he got fouled. And Berkshire really enjoying that call.
Yeah, both sides up at arms with that one, but that's what you're going to get when you get a loose ball foul and the ball finally jumps out one way or the other. Ultimately, I do agree with that call, though.
You'd have to think he looked like he would have secured it, but took some contact. Off the inbound, corner 3, hip, side of the backboard. Mueller, full-on sprint. Nice bounce pass inside, laid up and in by Barisic, and we're knotted at 26.
Barisic with his first 2 points of the night.
And a foul called on Gino Blasini. He signaled to travel. That's what he thought he saw. But officials say not so fast.
Yeah, that's a case of the timing of the whistle. So technically he did travel, but not before Blasini got caught with the contact.
And Carrero takes a breather. The freshman Jake Laverty back in. The 6'1" forward. Hastings now to Cameron Bean. He's back in for the Badgers. Hastings trapped. Lobbed it up for Mendelera. Couldn't hold on. Stripped away by Mueller. Hornets with a chance for the lead. Barisic for the lead. Off the mark. Nearly rebounded inside by Laverty. He's able to tip it off of Hastings and keep it with Kirtland.
That's kind of a huge, not a huge, but a nice swing for the Hornets, being able to get the extra possession here, and we'll see if they can cash in.
They're looking for their first lead since 6-4, all the way back in the early stages of the first quarter. We're tied at 26, nearly 3 minutes to play in the third. Corner 3, short from Barisic, but keeps his own rebound. Now Laverty. 2-3 zone in effect. Mueller looked like he wanted a three for the moment. Inside to Green, high post. His jumper up and good. And Kirtland, with their first lead, sets the first quarter. They're up 28-26. And a foul quickly called on the inbound, even before it got in. I think that's on Gino Blasini.
Yeah, the Kirtland full court press getting a little bit too physical. It's drawn a couple of fouls here on the last few possessions, so I'll have to tone it back a little bit. There's kind of that fine line between being too physical and being in front of your offensive player.
Now nearly 2:40 to play in this third. Winner of this one looking for a trip to the sectional final. Hastings breaks the full court press successfully. Mandalero one dribble three. Barely rims out. And Persick fell to the floor. Green is holding him, no foul called. Berkshire cannot believe it. Dump inside for Green. Kicks to Blasini, triple. That wedges in the rim. And over the back foul will be called on Jake Laverty.
Like we've said before, Logan, both sides erupting at calls. You're having bodies hit the floor, momentum swings. This is what playoff basketball is all about, regardless of what level, what division you're playing in.
Bobby Whitaker checks in for Jake Laverty. Can't say this enough. Another member of the Kirtland football team, the 6'2 senior. Hornets is a team with 6 fouls in this third quarter, so the Badgers are already one away from a 1-1. Cameron Beam was wide open inside, but that pass off target from Hastings, and the ball goes back to the Hornets.
We're seeing it from both sides. We're just some, I don't want to say easy passes, because not really any pass is truly easy, but some open passes on both sides going awry and costing each team some key points.
Aaron Fortuna back in for the Hornets. Had a little bit of playing time in the first half. Under 2 to play in the third. Danny Alfieri in as well for Kirtland. Kicks Barisic, open inside, Whitaker, quickly triple team. Almost lost a hold of the ball. Now let's see what this ruling is. It's a jump ball. And the arrow will favor Berkshire.
Yeah, ultimately, as a former player myself, when you're in the key, it's important not to bring the ball down and just to go straight up once you get it, so that way you don't cause a jump ball.
3-on-2 for the moment. Beam looked like he was going to step into a three, but he travels.
So ultimately what happened there was Beam took a gather step to get the ball, and then his feet went 1-2. That's ultimately what the refs look for. They call it 2.5 steps, which is meritable for a travel.
Under 90 seconds remain in this third. We've had a competitive ball game here in this sectional semifinal. 28-26 Kirtland. Foul line Jay. Green is short. Looked like an offensive rebound, but Cameron Bean somehow comes away with it. Whitaker tips and steals it. Back to Green. One dribble, almost lost it. And trying to get it inside was Barisic, but he turns it over. Hot potato on the floor. Who wants the ball?
You just stole the words out of my mouth. I was going to say hot potato, Butterfingers, basketball on the loose. That's what we've seen in the last couple possessions.
Just over a minute to go in this third. A special thanks goes out to C&J Provider Services in Mentor for their support of the Kirtland Hornets and high school sports in the area. Thank you, C&J Provider Services, for your support of tonight's broadcast. Jack Hastings to the left elbow for the tie, knocks it down. Tough jumper from the junior. We're deadlocked to 28, under 40 seconds to go in this third. It was 22-19 Berkshire at halftime. We're now tied at 28. Danny Alfieri fakes a three. Whitaker corner three. Bobby Whitaker! Nothing but net. Hornets by 3.
A big three there by Whitaker. Those are his first 3 points of the game, and they are big points.
Mandalera constantly pressured. Gets it to Hastings. 10 on the clock and a foul call. That's already 7 fouls on Kirtland. So we're not even through the third quarter. Berkshire already in the 1-1.
That is going to be a very interesting dynamic with the Badgers already in the bonus. And I'm not the most familiar with the high school rules, as we've kind of been around the college game. Do you know if that bonus also goes into the fourth quarter or not?
Well, I think we're going to have to find out, just because we were last at and really involved in high school games in about, for you, was 2018, myself, 2019. Free throw good from Hastings. He'll get the second end of a 1-and-1. 9 seconds left in the third. Berkshire trailing Kirtland 31-29. Second is good from the junior. 9 seconds on the clock. Owen Mueller right up the floor. Inside out, Ferry twirls and scores. Takes a fall as well. And a travel call on Berkshire. It'll go back to Kirtland with a second left in the quarter. My goodness.
I got to tell you what, that was a brilliant play by Mueller to beat the defenders across the sideline and find out Fury. And then credit to Fury as well, being able to spin and put that up so quickly, draw the contact. Didn't get the call. I don't think there would have been a call, but there's a second left. Hornets have a chance for a buzzer beater.
Fortuna triggers. Mueller, one dribble. Looks like he didn't get it off anyway, but too strong. Through 3 quarters of play, 33-30, Kirtland leads Berkshire through 3 quarters of this OHSAA sectional semifinal. While we had this timeout, I'd like to say, getting away from basketball a bit, hey, baseball and softball coaches looking for an affordable indoor training facility? Check out Lake County's newest training spot, The Hub. Conveniently located in Willoughby, The Hub is everything you need to take your game to the next level. Fully equipped cages, pitching mounds, and a hit tracks machine will help you meet your full potential. Contact The Hub at 440-533-1848 or visit the website at www.thehubsportsandfitness.com. On Google, just search for The Hub Willoughby. Luke, Berkshire was up by 3 through the first half. Find themselves now down 3 through 3 quarters.
Yeah, so kind of my keys from halftime. I said Berkshire had to really lock down on defense, and sure enough, the Hornets put up their best offensive output of the game in the third quarter. And for the Hornets, I kind of said you had to focus on getting more people involved, and sure enough, based on everybody who's on their roster, everybody's listed on their varsity roster, only 2 players haven't scored, so they've really been sharing the wealth well in the second half.
Kirtland will start with the basketball in this fourth. Logan Petoskey, Luke Petoskey here with you on CVC TV. Winner of this one awaits the winner of Warren Champion and Lake Catholic. Guerrero back in for Kirtland. He gets it back from Mueller. Those are a pair of first-team all-CVC guards for the Hornets. Bounce pass inside. Need found Will Sale, who put up the layup and got fouled.
Sale, a defensive back on the Hornet football team, showing his good IQ and mobility, being able to slither his way into the paint and draw the contact.
On the season, Will Sale on the hardwood, averaging over 4 points and 3 rebounds per game. Knocks down his first free throw. And free throw shooting in terms of Berkshire will have to be a critical juncture in this fourth quarter because they're already in the 1-and-1. Second free throw good from Sale. Mendelera, corner trap. Lobs it to Hastings, who's been busy, and he's fouled. Almost right on cue. I didn't think they might have heard me down there.
Yeah, and if you're Kirtland, you're going to live and die by your defensive principles. They've really been turning up their defensive intensity, especially in the second and third, and now we're in the fourth quarters, but you're sitting now at 8 team fouls, and every time you foul, you're going to give Berkshire the potential for free points at the free throw line.
First is good, and I mean first as in there may have been a second on a 1-and-1. He knocks it down. Jack Hastings with a game-high 12 points this evening. That is right on his season average. He's over the plateau, 13 points for the junior Hastings. Berkshire trails Kirtland 35-32. Mueller trying to work through a 2-3 zone. He gets it back. Now once more, Mueller for 3. Owen Mueller knocks down the triple. That's his second 3 of the night. He's got 6 points.
The Hornets living and dying by 3-and-D, 3-pointers and physical defense, and it's paying off right now, up 6.
Just over a minute into this final quarter, Kirtland leading Berkshire 38-32. Hastings steps into a 3, looks to answer. Off the mark, Gavin Hipp almost had the rebound, and it was because he was fouled that he lost it.
Yeah, some hard contact there, creating a loose ball, and Berkshire at the line for another 1-and-1. The Hornets are 1 away from giving the Badgers 2 free throws every time there's a foul.
Gavin Hipp tonight, 8 points for Berkshire, including a pair of 3-pointers. Misses the foul shot and rebounded by Noah Need. As Mueller circles back. Watson goes for another. That's off the mark, too strong, but Noah Need chases it down. Bocini, midair pass to Sale. Nice hop step, that was short. And a foul is called, and it looks like Gino Bocini off the ball may have taken a bit of a hit to the face as well.
Yeah, again, going back to that physical play, and Sale a couple possessions ago did very much the same, doing a good job at floor positioning, getting himself open opportunities, being able to draw contact.
Sale short on that first. And Luke, I just have to mention on Berkshire's side of things, a notable absence for tonight. We have not seen the junior guard Miles Miller at all this evening, averaging over 10 points per game this season and leading the Badgers with 53 pointers. So it's been Joey Chekai and Jack Hastings really handling the bulk of the guard duties tonight for the purple and gold. Inside layup, but a foul called on the floor before it can count. And it looks like it will go to the way of the Hornets.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was an offensive 3 seconds or a moving screen.
Hornets will take it regardless. Lob pass would have been stolen by Chekai. Carrero chased it down, and Mueller bumps into him. 2-on-2 break. Hipp, running floater is good. What a tough move. Badgers back within 4. Mueller, hands to Need. Hornets slow things down. Mueller attacks the basket, banks and almost scores, but the Badgers with the rebound and a key stop. Hastings penetrates. Can't put it in, and Gino Bocini a jumping rebound, something he's been very good at this season. Now Carrero finds Mueller. Baseline. Skip pass. Mid-air Bocini to Need for 3. Off the mark. Nice rebound from Chekai. 3-on-3. Hastings in the corner. It was tipped. Floater. Short. Rebounded and a foul, and it will go the way of Kirtland. An offensive foul. And I don't know if this gym's been louder tonight.
That's one of those rare offensive fouls where the player shoots the ball and at the same time they're going for the rebound. And ultimately Hastings just kind of gave a little bit of a push off into Sale, and Sale able to cause the offensive foul.
And I think both sides of fans, they are really getting into it right now. I'm just looking over at the Kirtland student section. They are fired up in the later stages of this playoff contest.
That's what rivalry postseason basketball is all about.
Rightfully so. Here's Carrero. Haven't said his name in a while in terms of scoring. Mueller bounces to Bocini. Quickly double. Somehow finds Barisic, who gets it back. Carrero. He's got some speed, and it's stolen away by Hipp. Goes through Carrero, and his moving layup just missed. Almost tiptoed by Chekai. But Owen Mueller comes away. Navigates his way. Carrero. And there's a travel.
Another case of that gather step and trying to take 2 more steps. Carrero gets tagged with the travel, but man, very fast-paced play getting into the late stages of this game.
And Berkshire quickly saying you can't do that, and well, they're not wrong. Cannot travel in basketball.
You're right.
Check out of Hastings. Bocini watches him. Barisic man-to-man on Mendelera. Mendelera tried to body into Barisic. Bounce pass for Mendelera and a foul from behind on Nick Barisic, and Berkshire now in the double bonus for these final 4 minutes and 7 seconds.
Yeah, and Logan, we kind of touched on it, is Kirtland's got themselves into such foul trouble that Berkshire is going to get 2 shots every time. Now, it's going to stop the clock, so we'll see what that means in the later stages of this game, but certainly I'm interested to see how many fouls each person has. We don't have the greatest technology, as I'm kind of just keeping track of points and runs here on a notepad with paper.
We're taking an old school tonight.
That's right.
But a new school, too. We're live streaming on YouTube. 2 free throws good from Mandalera. He's out to 8 points, and he's made 4 free throws this evening. Berkshire now down 38-36. Halfway through this fourth. What a game we've had in Kirtland tonight. Bocini with a corner trap. Off to DeMuller. Carrero for 3. Off the catch. That's missed. Bodies tumbling and chased down by Barisic. Carrero called for it. Mueller takes his time. Got a back and forth going. High post Green. Turnaround jumper is good. Kirtland back up 4.
That's been Green's staple, is that turnaround jumper from around the free throw line. I think he's only missed 1 of those, but he's made 3 of them tonight.
Mandalera fakes a 3. Attacks the lane. Up and under. Almost put it in. That's a great move there from the junior guard. He's at the line for 2.
I mean, I don't have the foul tracker in front of me, but I mean, if this game goes into overtime and we get free extra basketball, you really have to wonder how Coach Sean McGregor is going to handle that rotation. I don't know what the foul situation looks like for each of these Hornet basketball players, but certainly can't be pretty when you're sitting at more than 10 team fouls. Now 11 fouls, right.
11 fouls as a team in this second half. And Luke, I would agree. Lots of them drawn by the Badgers tonight. They're looking to take advantage at the line. That one's good. Mason Mandalera has now made his last 4 free throws, back to a 2-point game. Nowhere near over for either side, and this one is up for grabs. Just like that ball up there, as Mandalera couldn't get a hold, he tips it out of bounds. I think it was a pretty good segue.
Yeah, 100%. That's sometimes what happens when you get lucky in the commentary booth.
We'll have a baseline inbound. Nick Barisic to trigger. Served as the kicker for Kirtland football this season. He gets it in the corner, fakes. Mandalera matched with him. Vince Carrero tried to cut inside, but nothing going. He'll get it on the perimeter. 2-3 zone still. Green with a brief screen and roll. Back to Carrero. He's quick to draw a double. Kirtland's leading scorer this season. Now Owen Mueller. Not far behind, averaging 8 points per game this season. He'll get it back with a head fake. Draws a trap. And a timeout called on the floor. A 30-second timeout for Kirtland with 2:37 left in the fourth of this sectional semifinal. 40-38, Kirtland over Berkshire. While we have this break in the action, Big Leaf Basketball has served elementary basketball across Northeast Ohio and beyond since 2016, with an emphasis on community and sportsmanship. This past winter, Big Leaf provided a platform of leagues and tournaments to nearly 300 teams across Ohio from almost 70 different school districts spanning 12 counties, including several from the Huron Valley Conference. Big Leaf Basketball partners with area schools and provides fundraising outlets for their sports programs. Big Leaf takes pride in assessing each team's talent level and placing them accordingly to comfortably compete and grow as players and as a program. BL is partnered with the National Basketball Academy, and download the Big Leaf Basketball app today.
And Logan, real quick, I gave you some wrong information before the game, is that this is actually a sectional final, so the winner of this one will advance to the district semifinals, which means that the winner of this will advance to a neutral location and most likely play Lake Catholic, but I don't want to draw assumptions.
Well, how about that? We just raised the stakes in a matter of seconds.
That's right.
It's a sectional final, so our apologies here. We are 1 round behind. Mueller catch and shoot 3. In double coverage off the mark. Bocini, offensive rebound, gets it to go. And he's got a chance for one more. And he has electrified the Hive in Kirtland.
Bocini becomes the first Hornet player to reach double figures, and that's a big one, because the Hornets can't really afford to give any more defensive fouls without putting more key players in foul trouble, and sure enough, he's able to draw one and potentially have a three-point play.
Lassini can't convert. And it's rebounded by Mendolero. Almost went out of bounds. Hornets by 4. Nothing easy in the backcourt here. Almost tipped by Lassini. Midcourt checkout. Hit. Open 3. Got it. Greatly needed from Berkshire. They are back within a point. Buckle up, folks, because we got about 2 to go and a 1-point game for this sectional final. Carrero to Barisic. Mueller at midcourt. Barisic double, that got tipped. Barisic gets it back. Ducked inside for Sale, who's promptly fouled. And that's the last foul to give if you're Berkshire.
That's what I was going to say. It's getting interesting because now Berkshire's 1 foul away from putting the Hornets in the 1-and-1. And you might see the time start to slow down just a little bit here with all these free throws potentially impending.
Amazing game basketball is can make 1 minute end up being 15. Mueller. Probably not looking to shoot immediately. Minute 43 and counting left in this final quarter. Carrero draws a lot of that Badger defense his way. Now back to a 2-3, and now making a 3-2. That zone's been shuffling ways. Carrero almost tipped from behind by Mendolero. Sale gets it out to Mueller. No shot clock. Kirtland can take away as much time as they want. Sale, no look dump. Lassini, reverse layup is good. What a play from the pair of forwards. And a timeout is called.
That's an unbelievable play at this time of the game. To have the guts to be able to know your teammates in that spot, a no-look dump feed down along the baseline, and Lassini with the tough layup to get himself up to, I believe, 12 points. Hornets up 3. This is what Logan, our grandpa, would call an old-fashioned barn burner.
Certainly so for tonight. And a special thanks goes out to C&J Provider Services in Menor for their support of the Kirtland Hornets and high school sports in the area. Thank you, C&J Provider Services, for your support of tonight's broadcast. And speaking of that support, also support from our title sponsor, CVC TV. The presenting sponsor of CVC TV is Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. Doctors Keith Schneider, Don Lewis, Jill Weber, and Jacqueline Tomzik. Their specialties include dental surgery and implants, corrective jaw and facial surgery, and trauma reconstruction. For all of your oral surgery needs, visit the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery website at www.ohsurgery.com. Thank you for your support of the Chagrin Valley Conference and CVC TV. So, Luke, I think Kirtland called that timeout right after the basket, but if you were Berkshire, what are you saying to your team? You're down 3, very much alive here, but you're going to need to score soon.
Correct. You don't need a three-pointer. You just need a good basket, solid defense. And when the time comes to foul, you foul. But ultimately, I would not be surprised to see Coach Montanaro try to draw some kind of trap of a defensive scheme to try to force a turnover.
Hastings sprints up the floor to Hip. A three-pointer ties it. Nearly a minute to go. Tensions are high on both sides. Trip to a district semifinal on the line. Mendolero, Hip for the tie. No, that's short. Rebounded by Nick Barisic. Badgers wanted a foul. Sale up the floor. Gets it in midair and lays it in. Hornets by 5. This gym has erupted. And an offensive foul. Goes against Joey Chekai with an elbow, and Kirtland gets it back. That entire student section for the Hornets has risen to their feet.
That is a big momentum swing for the Hornets to be able to get the fast break bucket, make it a 2-possession game, and then draw the offensive foul. You're really in the driver's seat if you're the Hornets. And at this point, it's all about being able to make your free throws, because a foul puts you on the 1-and-1. If you missed your free throw, Berkshire has the chance to capitalize with some quick points, and you're really going to be playing, like we said, that slow clock game where Berkshire will try to get a bucket, and if they get a bucket, they'll try to draw the foul, and then you'll see 1 minute of time, like you said, seem like 15 minutes.
And since we're getting that, it's going to be a lot more time to get through our sponsors for tonight's broadcast, including The Hub. Hey, baseball and softball coaches, looking for an affordable indoor training facility? Check out Lake County's newest training spot. The Hub. Conveniently located in Willoughby, The Hub is everything you need to take your game to the next level. Fully equipped cages, pitching mounds, and a hit tracks machine will help you meet your full potential. Contact The Hub at 440-533-1848 or visit the website at www.thehubsportsandfitness.com. On Google, just search for The Hub Willoughby. And Luke, I think you're looking for an update on the opposing game, the winner of it. The winner of this one would face in the district semis. What do you have for Lake and Champion?
Yes, using my Twitter sleuthing sources, shout out to Lake Catholic High School Cougars Twitter page. I can confirm Lake Catholic was up at the end of the third quarter, 50-28. So unless we saw a miraculous comeback from Champion, it looks like the winner of this will be facing Lake Catholic.
Luke, I know we'd have some family ties in that one. Our dad went to both high schools.
That's right.
During his time. It's Carrero across midcourt. Hornets by 5. If you're Berkshire, there's no shot clock, so you may have to foul. Barisic. Now Mueller. Hastings tight on him. Back to Carrero. Kirtland could take away the rest of his time if they want. Already under 20, and now the foul finally occurs.
I could see Coach Montanaro signaling for that foul, but the ball movement and the player movement was able to prevent the foul from being enacted, and Kirtland was able to really run off like 20 seconds of clock there.
And I just heard the Kirtland student section. This one's not over yet, but as the free throw is good from Owen Mueller on the 1-and-1. It's one of our dad's favorite chants from when he's at high school events. Kirtland said start the buses. This one's not over yet, but you can feel that momentum inching its way that way.
Surely.
Mueller's second, back rim, no good. If you're Berkshire, you got to score, and you got to score quickly. You're down 6, under 15 to go. Mendelera triple, way too strong. Offensive rebound, Bean, he banks it in, and the clock will stop with a timeout. With, it says about 8 seconds left, but I think a little bit more time ran off. That may end up getting adjusted a tad.
Yeah, the referees are at the scorer's table. I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe bump that up to 9 seconds and change or so, but I don't know. I'm not down there on the floor.
No, we are not. We are up top in the top corner of one of the bleachers here at Kirtland. And Luke, both of us went here, and I think just us walking in here tonight, we kind of thought, I don't know if we'd ever thought we'd be broadcasting a basketball game in here, but here we are years later.
I know, it's certainly a cool experience. It brings back those memories from when we were back at school, and the long-standing rivalry with Berkshire being in the CVC Valley, it never gets old. It's always a thrill to be able to come to the CPAC gyms on both sides, and I haven't been to the new Berkshire High School facility with their new gymnasium, but certainly that environment won't be going away anytime soon. These are long-standing rivals. They will stay long-standing rivals, but there is also that respect for one another that, especially on the basketball gridiron, anything can go anyway.
And I know Berkshire also got that new football stadium, Great Lakes Cheese Stadium. I think we both have yet to go there as well.
Yeah.
Those are both going to be on our checklist for high school sports as Carrero is fouled immediately on the inbound. 7 seconds remain, 47-43. Kirtland, if this score holds, will be making a trip to the district semifinal to more than likely take on their Route 306 neighbor, Lake Catholic.
The battle of Route 306 we could potentially see, but it will come down to Carrero making some free throws here and some defensive stops for the Hornets.
And he'll make the first. Interesting free throw routine Carrero had there. I don't know if it's part of his routine or just what he did. He kind of jabs that left foot. Jabs it back, and he makes it. And the winner of this game will face the winner of the other Lake Catholic and Champion. That game would be in Salem, Ohio at John A. Cabus Gymnasium, and that game would be on February 27th at 7 o'clock p.m. I think that's Monday, right?
Yep.
That'll be on Monday. So timeout on the floor. Berkshire trailing by 6. It's pretty much their last chance here. What do you say if you're the head coach?
If you're the coach, it's basically make a special memory happen right here, because I can imagine win, lose, or draw, if they're able to score 6 points in this stretch, get a 3, force a turnover, make another 3. Whether they lose or win, that's definitely an unforgettable memory.
I mean, certainly crazy things have happened, but you have to think with a full court inbound, certainly won't be easy. But you can never say never.
It's not impossible, but it is improbable.
Hastings finds Beam, 5 on the clock. Mendelera, he's at midcourt. Hastings, very deep 3. He got it! But time expires. Heck of a shot from Hastings and a gritty effort from Berkshire. They had a strong lead in the first half, but it's the Kirtland Hornets who prevail by a score of 49-46 in this sectional final, and Kirtland likely with a date with Lake Catholic on Monday night in Salem. I have to say, what a ball game. It's the first time this season in the 3 meetings between these two teams that the home team has emerged victorious. I have to tell you, this one was a classic. And I've been a part of many Kirtland and Berkshire games, whether that be as a spectator or as a player. This one certainly ranks up there with a playoff implication as well. What a performance from both sides. And in a brief moment here, we're going to have an interview on the floor with our player of the game. And before that, though, we're going to step aside for a brief moment here. Stay tuned on CVC TV. Post-game interview with Kirtland's Gino Blasini. Luke, take it away.
Thank you, Logan. I'm here with Gino Blasini from the victorious Kirtland Hornets, coming away with a 49-46 win in this sectional final. Gino, how does it feel to come out on top? This was the rubber match. You guys had split the series in this season. How does it feel to be advancing in the postseason?
It feels great. They got us in the second match, and they came out and they wanted us in the first round of the playoffs. And these last 4 practices we practiced really hard. We listened to our coaches, and we came out with the W.
You finished with 12 points, and there were some key plays you made there in the fourth quarter. Really, your whole team, you guys were able to respond and come back from a first-half deficit to ultimately win by 3. What went into making some of those key plays? There were some no-look passes, some key layups. What went into all that?
We wore them down. We started pressing them in the, second quarter, and they didn't have as much depth as us, so we just wore them down, and we were just making plays. And we listened to our coach, and we trust him. He's a really great guy, and that's it.
And just looking at the score line here, really everybody got the chance to share the wealth. Really only a few of your teammates weren't able to convert buckets, but is sharing the wealth really the mantra of this team, being able to have everybody contribute?
Yeah, we have all great athletes all around. We had Jake Laverde, never played varsity game before, and he came up, stepped up, played really good defense. We don't really have one player who can score. We have a great team, and all of us come out and we compete.
And then last question for you. It looks like you guys are going to be facing Lake Catholic at Salem on Monday. What's it going to take to potentially have an opportunity to upset your Route 306 neighbors?
We're just going to have to come out with a lot of energy and hit our shots.
Outstanding. Gino, great job.
Thank you.
Now I'm here with Coach Sean McGregor. And Coach, you said your initial key to this game was to play at your pace and play your style of basketball. Would you consider that mission accomplished?
Well, I'd say in the first half we did not accomplish our goal, but in the second half I think we very much did. We were able to quicken the pace of the game. We weren't shooting well from the field, but I think just when you're getting up and down a little bit, it kind of lets the kids relax by playing our style of basketball, and then we made some clutch shots. So I think mission accomplished in the second half, and I think it was the difference. The way how hard our kids played in the second half, I think, made the difference in the game.
Yeah, and you kind of touched on that, making the difference in the second half. What did you say to your team at halftime, or what were you saying to them perhaps throughout the game that kind of helped them come back and stay resilient and come out on top?
We just talked about at halftime about playing our game. What are we trying to do? Remind them of what the game plan is, of how we're trying to accomplish that. And I think our kids did a real nice job of responding. We talked about, guys making plays. The opportunities were there in the first half. We just didn't shoot the ball well. We missed some easy shots. And then the second half, we still didn't shoot the ball really well, but we shot it a lot better than we did in the first half. So we got some good possessions and some easy buckets.
And I kind of talked to Gino about this as well, in that this was kind of a rubber match, rivalry, postseason, a trip to the district semifinal on the line, and obviously you guys broke that rubber match with the win. I kind of asked him too, just looking at the scoring book, everybody really got a chance to score. Is sharing the wealth kind of the team mantra, having everybody contribute on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, we're a team of depth. We don't have one guy that can go out and score 25 a night or whatever it might be. We have a bunch of guys that do a lot of things well, and when we play together and we're on the same page, we have a lot of guys that can make plays. So, we always talk about depth, and we talk about what we need to do, and that's share the scoring, share the ball, don't be selfish, move the ball to the open guy, make an extra pass, and we really did that in the second half.
And then one last thing, it's looking like you're going to face your Route 306 neighbors, Lake Catholic. They're a 3 seed. What's it going to take from your team to be able to turn around in 3 days and play that team tough? They've got a good program over there, worthy of a 3 seed in the postseason.
Oh, absolutely. Matt does a great job. He took over a program that they're very experienced. Their lineup's been together for the last 3 years. It's going to be a tall challenge, but I think our kids will compete. And whatever happens at the end of the game, whatever score might be, the only thing that I care about is between the lines. Are we competing? Are we representing ourselves the right way? And we did that tonight, and we're going to go do that on Monday. And whatever happens. But we're going to compete, and we'll see what happens.
That sounds great, Coach. Congratulations and good luck on Monday. Logan, I'm going to send it back to you.
Appreciate it. All right, how'd it go?
For Luke, thanks so much for being able to get down to the court and chat with Gino Blasini and Coach Sean McGregor for Kirtland. So they had some great things to say. And the Kirtland Hornets will be moving on to the district semifinals against Lake Catholic on Monday night at Salem with a 49-46 victory over CVC Valley rival Berkshire. Before we sign off, though, I do just want to run through our sponsors one more time. Firstly, a special thanks goes out to C&J Provider Services in Menor for their support of the Kirtland Hornets and high school sports in the area. Thank you, C&J Provider Services, for your support of tonight's broadcast. Hey, baseball and softball coaches, looking for an affordable indoor training facility? Check out Lake County's newest training spot, The Hub. Conveniently located in Willoughby, The Hub has everything you need to take your game to the next level. Fully equipped cages, pitching mounds, and a hit tracks machine will help you meet your full potential. Contact The Hub at 440-533-1848 or visit the website at www.thehubsportsandfitness.com. On Google, just search for The Hub Willoughby. Big Leaf Basketball has served elementary basketball across Northeast Ohio and beyond since 2016 with an emphasis on community and sportsmanship. This past winter, Big Leaf provided a platform of leagues and tournaments to nearly 300 teams across Ohio from almost 70 different school districts spanning 12 counties, including several from the Chagrin Valley Conference. Big Leaf Basketball partners with area schools and provides fundraising outlets for their sports programs. Big Leaf takes pride in assessing each team's talent level and placing them accordingly to comfortably compete and grow as players and as a program. BL is partnered with the National Basketball Academy. Download the Big Leaf Basketball app today. And last but certainly not least, the title sponsor for CVC TV is the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. Their practice diagnoses and treats facial pain and injuries, and also offers a full range of dental implants and bone grafting procedures. Look no further than the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery for all your oral surgery and cosmetic surgery needs. Please visit their website at www.ohsurgery.com. And one more thing before we sign off, I do want to give special thanks to our broadcast producer Peter Tellep and all those involved tonight with LPV Productions for doing a tremendous job of keeping the broadcast afloat and allowing us to showcase this sectional final between Kirtland and Berkshire. Hey, I want to thank my broadcast partner, my older brother Luke Petoskey, for being alongside me, doing a great job providing insight for tonight's contest as the Kirtland Hornets cut down the nets. They win the sectional final over Berkshire tonight by a score of 49-46. That's just going to about wrap it up here from the Hive here in Kirtland. For all those involved here on tonight's broadcast, including my broadcast partner Luke Petoskey, I'm Logan Petoskey. Kirtland moves on to the district semis to face Lake Catholic on Monday night by a final score of 49-46. I'm Logan Petoskey. Thank you so much for tuning in and enjoy your weekend. Have a good night.